meeting, Skog. I think it's Joel, I think.
It's Joe.
Okay, so everything. Oh, well, now, I guess, do we start with Craig or what do we do? Wherever we'll go.
Is Darwin ready?
Yep, already.
Sorry, are you all set, Dar?
Everything's good.
Okay,
Hey. Thanks, Dar.
Craig, you got anything you want to announce here before we, are we good to go?
Who's that, Joe? What are we gonna do with this pledge? Should we just ignore that, or are we gonna stand up and look at the wall? What do you think, Scopes?
We don't have, none of us have flags, so
I'll miss that, okay?
that's up to you.
Yeah.
Do we need a flag, Steve, we need a flag or not?
We don't need a flag.
Okay, let's do it then.
Okay,
Okay.
we
Well, we
won't
gotta be
see
ready.
each other.
Call the meeting to order first, do roll call.
Okay, we're ready. Okay.
Where's Amanda?
Here.
She's looking at, she's with Josh.
Oh.
With Josh and the kids. I just wanted to make sure she knew who she was with. She was right. It's Josh. Are we ready, Amanda?
We're waiting for you, Gary.
Okay. Could we take roll, please?
Stanaway,
Here.
Logman,
Here,
Huria,
Here.
Rebig,
Here,
Galco.
I'm here right now anyway. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Amanda. Okay, let's see.
want to do the pledge now?
What's that, Joe?
Want to do our pledge?
Yeah, we'll do the pledge. I mean, we will stand. I don't have, but we might as well do it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I pledge allegiance
Jim's.
To the flag
Flag
of the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and
and
justice for all.
Okay. Okay. Folks, okay, I guess we're on, right? So I can just continue on right now. And it's gonna be, erratic, but I'll do the best. But under, let's see, what I'd like to do is, well, the consent agenda, we'll move right on to that. I don't think we have anything to add. So we'll go to item A, the minutes of the March 16th meeting, the regular meeting, and B was minutes of the March 23rd. That was the emergency meeting we had. And C is receipts, D, bills and payroll, letter E is communications. I so move that we approve the consent agenda. Do I have support?
Support.
By Julie. Thanks, Jewel. Any discussion on that? None being, Amanda, could you take roll, please?
Stanaway,
Yes.
Rebig,
Yes.
Logman,
Yes,
Huria,
Yes.
Galco.
Yes, motion carried. Amanda, I like your curtains in the back. They're really pretty. Okay, motion carried 5-0. Public forum. God, if we have a public forum for this, do we have anybody public forums? Nice, I see you, folks. No one under public forum. Okay, we move on to item 4, the committee and staff reports. Okay, if I could, I'd like to just make a few comments, just because I know this is being streamed out, right? Exactly, but this is a new adventure for us with the Zooming. So please, those watching, bear with us, and we're going to do the best we can. But being serious, it's some very uncertain times here that our nation is in, and I guess you converge not only uncertain but kind of scary times. It's uncharted waters. I know most all our city office buildings are really closed. Our staff, as they are working. We are providing all the essential services that we can to our citizens. I guess I'm rambling a little bit here, but I want to thank during this crisis, especially all the healthcare workers in this nation, the providers, from the doctors to the nurses to the EMTs, the first responders. I mean, you are real heroes right there. So I know I'm speaking for all us when I want to thank you there. I just, before we move on to it, I know this is a time where we have to stay apart. You know, social distancing is a big thing to try to, you know, make this thing improve things. But I guess I'm going to say, you know, even though we're staying apart, by being together, by working together, by being united and strong, we will beat this thing. We're definitely come out when we beat this virus. Hopefully we'll come out not only stronger, but a little bit maybe nicer and even a little bit wiser. So Godspeed, we will take care of this, and we will beat this by working together and staying apart. A couple of things I want to mention under the mayor's report, and hopefully we'll get some feedback. Since our last meeting, we did have you know, some deaths in our community, some passing, some people that I didn't know real well. The first one I'd like to acknowledge and have this on record, that's why I'm doing it, would be Alice Skipper. Alice was a longtime resident of Parkville and lived there many, many years. I knew her son, Jim, and then of course her daughter, Barb, I knew was married to Al Nelson, who was on our committee. Al at the beginning, Nelson. So just sending our condolences to the Skipper family. Now we're getting really home here, and I'm sure Al or Steve can follow me up on this. In the last week or two, we lost another young man, Tim Johnston, in this town, a relative of both Al and Steve. And this is a hard one. Tim, I think, was only 35 years old, and I got to know Tim. He worked for, you know, several years now on our planning and zoning commission. So I know I'm sending out our severe, you know, our condolences, our thoughts, prayers to Roger and Gail and the entire Johnston Stanaway family. Another passing of a young former Mount Marion man was Jesse Giroux. I think he was a 91 grad. And I didn't know Jesse personally, but he was now living in Mackin, and I knew who his wife was, Kaya. I knew her, and all I've heard was, you know, really good things about Jesse Giroux. So I knew his dad, Gary, did some work here too with Walker, Drew, and Hani. So sending again our condolences out to the entire Giroux and Salco family. And the last one was Rocky Cinto. Tony, we know him as Rocky, all our life. Rocky, Rocky was a city employee for 30-some years, and I knew Rocky well. His wife Bertie's also a good friend. Rocky's older sister, you know, graduated with me, Marie. So again, sending condolences out to all these people that we just mentioned. Our thoughts and prayers from all. So would anybody else like to comment on this before we move on? I'm just, if anybody else would, the floor is yours.
Yeah, just a couple of them. You know, one, obviously Tim, I think we all pretty much knew Tim, you know, great guy, a lot of fun. Always getting people together for things. Did a great job on planning and zoning. And he was one that quite often attended our council meetings. I don't know how he could put up with us, but he did. But he was there. He enjoyed city politics, and again, my sympathy to their family, especially Ellen and Steve, who are very close to him. So that's on that one. Also, Rocky Cinto, he was a year older than I was. I knew him through high school, and sad to see him go also. So that's what I got.
Anyone else want to comment before we move on? And some were so young. When I think of Tim and Jesse, way too young. And you know, Rocky's a couple years younger than myself too. So anyone else want to comment before we move on? But our thoughts are with all those. Okay, let's move on then to, and there's nothing else under mayor's report. B, city administrator's report. Craig, do you have anything there?
Just a couple of things, Mr. Mayor. As we continue to monitor this situation, me and Tim have been working closely together, and we're coming up with some plans to look at what the campground might look at like this year. We're pretty sure that we're not going to be able to open it on our opening date that's scheduled in May. But how far do we go into the season before we just scrap it all? That's what we've been kicking around. Same things with summer rec programs. That's slated to start the beginning of June. I don't know if we're going to be able to get into that. We continue to monitor. And then finally, summer employees, we're tossing around what we can do with summer employees, if they're going to be needed, if it's wise not to have them. So we've been talking, been in contact with the League of Cities about these issues, and so we're all working together to try to see what happens next.
And thanks, Craig. That's all we can do. A lot of this is changing daily. So, and we've been on top, and thank you so much for you and Tim, especially what you two been doing. Anybody else want to comment on that?
Craig?
Just one question, Craig or Steve, are you on? I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead. I'll come on after you.
Okay, Craig, I was just wondering, I know with our park and recs, we haven't had a chance to meet either. I know the campground's going to be a concern. The caretakers, are we anywhere with that any further along?
Well, we did advertise for them, and it closed last Friday, and we did not get any applications. Last year's caretakers reached back out to me and have willing to do it for the same price, but I said we haven't made a decision on the future there yet.
Okay, all right, but so we do have a plan. They are willing to come back if need be.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Craig, with what's going on with this virus and everything, we haven't had a health and safety meeting yet either. But could you reach out to the fire department and the first responders? Probably have to go through the chief because I think he does both of those, and see if they've gotten the supplies that they need for their safety when they go out on calls.
Absolutely.
I just got a email today from the state fire marshal's office, and there's a suggestion on what kind of stuff first responders should be wearing when they go out on a medical call. So I just want to make sure that they've got it.
Will do.
I've got one other question for Craig. Craig, I see we got a notice for the shared services meeting from Brits. How is that going to work, or is that going to be canceled?
Well, we're planning on moving ahead with it next Monday at 3, and it's going to be a virtual meeting. They've got a different platform that's called GoToMeeting. Somehow, for some reason, the state is limiting their use of Zoom, because that was our initial thoughts. But once we figure out this GoToMeeting, we'll let the participants know.
Okay, very good. Thanks.
If anybody else, anything there for Craig, or is that under Craig? Okay, let's move to item C, the Director of Public Works report. Item 1 was to authorize to purchase a mower, pages 11 through 13. Maybe you want to comment a little bit on that, Craig or Tim, and we'll go from there.
Sure, Mr. Mayor. In the past, we've seen our crews out with typically lawn tractors, and they have served us well. They're at the point where we have a couple of them that are kind of reaching the end of their life for what we use them for, and we kind of went a different direction with this zero-turn gravelly mower that L&M has given us a real good deal on. So we would recommend that we to purchase this mower, and this would be probably replacing a couple of those Cub Cadet type mowers. This is quite a bit quicker and a bigger mowing path, and with our some of the modeling we have done on what possibly might be happening with reduced maybe some reduced staff and what happens going into the summer, I think that our government services certainly won't look as they have been in the past. So this would be an item that would help us keep our community looking nice and save some time too.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. With that being said, can we entertain a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead, Scott.
I'll make a motion that we purchase this Pro Turn ZX riding lawnmower for, hang on, I gotta go back.
$6,029.99.
That's the price. Thank you.
That's right. Got
Right
my
on,
glasses
Joe.
on.
Way to go, Joe.
I'll support.
Okay, motion by Skogie and support by Joe. Thank you, guys. Any discussion on that?
Just one thing for Tim to know, that if they do decide to hire people, or if they can't hire people, I'd be more than willing to come and run that machine.
Yeah, it is built like a tank, so we could handle you running it too, so.
That was good.
That's good.
Yeah, Tim, that thing, we got
Wear a
that.
helmet, Skogie, you gotta put a helmet on. No. Okay. we're
The
gonna-
one thing that's kind of impressive with that is the warranty on that.
Yes.
You get was it a 6-year, 4-year warranty on that? I don't think Cub Cadets were going that long.
One of the other things I'll mention to you counselors is that, you know, we've had some recommendations by MMUA that handle a lot of our safety concerns with the city. And they have kind of pushed us in a direction of going with more of a safety based industrial machine versus our typical lawn tractors. So this one has a roll protection and seat belts and everything else that would be considered on a newer machine. We wouldn't get those with our typical lawn tractors.
Geez, you really were thinking about me when you bought one.
Hey, Craig, or Tim, I'm sorry. You said that L&M gave us a price. Did we compare that with the state bid at all?
This is on a buyer's bid. It's not the state bid. Like, I don't know what what she had said it, but I guess by looking at the price that she gave, I don't have the original what they're offering. This is I can just say it's a real significant reduction.
And that one, that will be used basically by our city workers. That will not be used by campground personnel. Will we have another machine that will be going to the campground for their use?
We have typically we've had in the past, we've had a Cub Cadet out there, and we have an older John Deere, it's one of the rec department's older one. But I foresee that in the past that we mow quite a bit more out there than we have. We keep it mowed in the ditches, and so I see this one kind of rolling over there, doing some of that work, and it will be run by city staff. It won't be left out at the campground.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay, with that being said, I guess, Amanda, could we take a roll call, please?
Danaway,
Yes.
Previg,
Yes.
Silverman,
Yes,
Maria,
Yes.
Galco.
Oh, yeah, yes, I was daydreaming, man. I kind of was reading my there. Okay, 5-0. I was just reading about this hockey player. Okay, no. Letter D. Now we've covered that one, right? So we're going on to D. Library Director, Special Events Coordinators Report, page 14. I think we have Anna hiding somewhere there. Anna?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I was not able to get video link here, but I hope everyone can hear me okay.
You
Yep.
sound good. And you, in the screen, you look pretty good too. No, you're coming across.
I did include our March report. Just wanted to let you know a lot of events were canceled in March as well as now in April. We canceled a total of 5 events the end of March and have now canceled all 13 events that were scheduled at the library for the month of April. We are using our online circulation program to inventory our collection, inventory catalog, and weed some older. Some of you may have heard I asked the city, bunch of the city crew to come over, and we shampooed the floors and moved our shelving around. So the library has now been, I guess we have a new floor plan, let's put it that way. And so now that we have the floor plan set, we are now moving the collections back and relabeling everything. We have on our Facebook page a daily book watch a book, I guess. We've seen anywhere from 150 to 325 views of our online content, so that's been really great. I've been really happy with that response on our Facebook page, since we're not able to have events in-house. And we've now added another event, which is Mondays in place of our Young Reader Story Time, Monday music with actually my brother Charlie, who is a teacher, a 4th grade teacher, and plays guitar. So he's been doing some music for us on Mondays in place of our Young Readers Story Time. So now I'm working on our summer reading program, and just in case we have to move to an online format for the summer, we see about 125 to 150 kids in our summer reading program. So we don't want to let that go and are just looking at different options to offer our summer reading program in a different format this summer. We are looking, as many libraries are in our area, to move to no contact curbside pickup starting next Monday. But that is only if we are given the all clear and the stay-at-home order is finished as of Friday, as scheduled right now. So this is a moving target for all libraries. This will be our items only, and our book drop right now is open. We are collecting items out of it daily. We have to quarantine those items. It was 3 days to start, and now it's 8 actually. So items come back into our library and are actually sitting for 8 days. Unfortunately, Buell, Evelyn, and Virginia have all closed their book drops, so we are getting a significant number of books from other libraries to our book drop. So we did let them know. We had a meeting this morning, all the libraries, and I let them know that we are seeing significant increase to our book drop numbers of items that are not Mountain Iron items, but we don't really have a correction for that unless I were to close ours as well. Right now, we're just bringing them in and quarantining them for 8 days, and then cleaning them according to the Minnesota Department of Education and CDC guidelines, and then putting them back in the shelves or in bins to send off whenever they open back up. Lots of things happening
Yeah.
here at the library.
Yeah, right. And it's changing all the time, Anna, too. You know, so any other, thank you, Anna. Anybody have any questions, concerns for Anna?
One other thing I wanted to mention also was the fact that this is a moving target with this calendar. So at the moment, I'm just evaluating and trying to plan for future special events. But as long as these dates are a moving target, I won't reevaluate or start putting dates onto calendars until after May 1, which is per the governor's orders on that so far. So
Great. So, well, thank you much, Anna. Any other questions, gang, or concerns? Okay, okay, you take care, Anna, and thank you so much.
thank you.
Okay, letter E. Here we go, Johnny. Can hear the Sheriff's Department report. Good to see you, John. Hey, Johnny.
I have
anything
no formal report. I have no formal report, but our call volume is down about half of what it normally is.
you answered?
We don't expect that to last.
Okay, but right now it's about half of a normal.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, John. Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So, but you anticipate that could rise.
Yeah, we anticipate it will rise, as well as domestic disturbances have risen across the country significantly as time's gone on.
Right. I understand that for you. Yeah. Thanks, John. Anybody have a question up, John?
And John, your personnel are staying safe also, maintaining PPE?
We are, and actually, whenever possible, we're avoiding face-to-face contact. So many of the things that would have gotten direct face-to-face attention in the past are handled by phone or simply not handled at all.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks, John, too. Thank you so. Stay safe. Anybody else for John?
John,
Oh.
one thing. How's the bear situation? Have they started coming out yet?
There's bears out in some spots, but we have not had any complaints yet.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, John. Hey, folks.
Very
Okay.
good.
Thank you, Johnny. Let's move to F, City Engineers Report. Item 1, change order number 1, sanitary sewer slip lining, pages 15 through 16. Al, you want to comment? Al, I think you're there.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, thank you. So
Good
this
to hear,
change
Al.
orders to have in situ form come in, and in 2 days, they're gonna remove any of the protruding clay tile pipes that they found when they cleaned and televised the downtown planned area for the 2019 project. This is the CDBG project from last year. And so they've located them by televising and cleaning the pipes, and they're going to bring in the special equipment to cut the taps that cause some concern that some have breaks around them. So by just using a regular cutter, it might cause the pipe to break further or cause other damage or a blockage. So that's kind of the reason that this change order came about.
Okay, gotcha. Well, thank you much, Al. Anything else on that? If not, I guess we need a motion or entertain a motion on this change order request.
I'll make a motion that we approve change order number 1. That will be in the amount of $9,000. And that will go for the downtown sanitary sewer improvements. And that will go to In Situ Form Technologies USA.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Motion by Joe. Do we have support?
Or
Boy, that was a tie. You know, you treated me nicer. Let's go. Not Skokie here. I'm gonna go with my buddy Al on this.
yeah, I think you should. I forgot that was that side of the council.
Yeah.
You're too many times kicking me under the table. You can't do that. Right. Okay, thanks, Al. Motion by Joe, support by Al. Any discussion on that? I think we don't need a roll call on that, do we?
I got one question.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, I just got one question. Are they behind on anything on this sanitary sewer? I mean, are they going to be backlogged? Are they still working? Are they slowing down, or how is that everything affecting them?
They're actually trying to get in. They're hoping this gets approved. They're hoping to come in and do this change order work potentially next week, as long as the weather and everything allows. And then the city has 2 other repairs that need to be fixed before the slip lining can actually occur. And Tim's aware of them. We talked to them about it. And I guess I kind of pushed them off with this coronavirus stay-at-home order and the frost that's currently in the ground that's slowly coming out. But I don't know, maybe Tim, you have a better update on the schedule for them repairs?
No, we still just have to tackle them. There's 2 repairs. When they did the initial televising for this project, they came across 2 repairs that I believe that when they put in services in both areas, that it's an actual real fragile line there. And so we're going to have to go in there and cut that out. And it's real, it's a real possibility of that being a collapsed line. And this is exactly why we're doing this project. So it's actually pushed in on both spots where they can't go in and push that liner back out to a normal diameter of the pipe. So yes, we need to go in there and make a couple quick repairs. And we just need to set those up. The other thing to make a comment about the change order, like Al was saying, last year when we did this project, we snipped off, the crews snipped off quite a few extruding services, those clay tiles that comes from the house into the main. But they were pretty solid and they weren't quite as fragile as this main is. Remember, this is that clay tile, the Red Wing tile also. So this line is in considerably probably worse shape, and they have a different style of the way they go in and snip these off. So yeah, it's more delicate and probably a little bit more challenging the way this project is working out. But this is exactly why we're doing it. We're suspicious of this line, and it showed that it is bad.
Thanks, Tim, and thanks much, Tim. Okay, we haven't voted yet, have we? Matt, we haven't voted, have we?
I don't believe.
Okay, no. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, I think 5-0. I didn't hear all 5, but I'll take it. 5-2. Okay, and now we're going to any liaison reports? Anybody with any liaison reports? None being unfinished.
Mr. Mayor, if I might jump back to my report a little bit.
Oh, I'm Tim. Yeah, I might think, Tim. I'm sorry.
I just want to remind everybody that Friday, Good Friday, the city offices will be closed. Garbage pickup will be normally picked up, or it will be picked up like a normal schedule. So we'll have somebody out there, but the city offices won't be staffed, and the city garage won't unless there's an emergency. And just kind of going over what things have changed and stuff. I'll kind of refresh everybody that we have discontinued curbside recycling until we get a better handle on this virus, or society does. And so there will be no longer any curbside recycling. Our recycling center down at down here on 102 is still open, so people could bring down their recycling down to that site, and as long as the county operates that will be open. You can also drop off cardboard. The business cardboard, where we used to pick up at each business, has been discontinued during this whole project also. But the city has offered a couple of roll-off dumpsters for cardboard recycling only. We had a little trouble that people dumped some garbage in this, but we dumped it, and we'll try to get this going again. So the Nichols Town Hall has a roll-off dumpster for cardboard recycling for businesses. And there's one behind Walgreens that the businesses normally that we pick up can drop their cardboard off themselves. So hopefully this goes okay for us. The rest of the city crew, we're trying to sweep the sidewalks and get going a little bit early. There's a lot of people walking, so we're trying to be aware of that and have people enjoy our nice trails in town. You'll see crews out probably sweeping and cleaning the roads a little bit earlier than normal, and potholing, of course, it's that time. And I'd also like to make a comment about the 3 gentlemen that recently passed away. I mean, Tim, I got to know the last few years, and what a great quality guy. I'll miss seeing him out in our audiences. And Jesse Drew, I had known him for years since we were kids, and he's just got this infectious laugh that I'll really miss. And Rocky, what can I say about Rocky? He worked here for 34 years, and just a great guy. And we'll miss him. He helped me out when I first started here, and was really willing to help somebody that was inexperienced in town, and I appreciate it. And what a great guy.
Thank you, Tim. I agree on all that very, very much. Well said, Tim. Okay, let's moving on to no unfinished business.
Wait a minute, Gary.
Okay, I'm sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
Do a liaison report.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Just for public record, planning and zoning is scheduled to meet April 13th at 6:30 we have a public hearing that day. And it looks like we're probably going to meet right in the city hall, in the community center there in the council chambers, but we'll practice the social distancing.
Mhm.
I think that's the easiest way for us to go with this.
Public hearing, right?
Yeah. And I don't foresee having any other meetings after that until we're able to do it.
Well, thank you, Steve.
Craig, will that work for you, Craig, or is that going to be okay, or what are you thinking?
I don't personally, I don't like it. I don't think it's something that we should do, but if the board feels comfortable doing it, we can set them up in one of those large rooms and keep them really spaced out, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what else we're gonna do because there's people that don't understand how to do what we're doing now.
Is that just for a public hearing, Steve? Is that the main thing, or what?
Yeah, it's for the public hearing.
Can people correspond in a public hearing without attending? Can they do that through correspondence?
They could do that, but I'm not sure that everybody would do it. You know, how people are, they like to come and express themselves. So I'm not real happy with the idea, but it looks like we're gonna have to do it that way.
I'd go in one of the bigger rooms just so nobody gets, yeah, I do the bigger one.
I think as long as you work with Craig on it and get to meet his satisfaction also, I think it's pretty important that we have everybody on board.
Yeah, we've been doing a little communication. I haven't gotten anything back yet, but I'll stop in this week and we'll work something out.
Yeah, because because it's coming quick. That would be next Monday, because you have that notice. You have to have a certain time limit, you know, to do that. And there's 72 hours or whatever. So
it's already been published and everything. So the meeting is up and ready to go.
Okay, well, just work with Craig and thanks, folks, on it. Okay, item, well, we're under 7 now, new business. Letter A, resolution number 0-20, the PFA application, pages 17 and 18. This has to do with drinking water. I think maybe Craig or maybe Tim, if you want to add a little bit to it, has to do with as far as seeking, I guess, a grant or a loan for some drinking water. And Tim, you want maybe help me out a little bit on this one?
Sure, Mr. Mayor. This is this allows the city to apply for a Public Facilities Authority drinking water fund, a loan fund from their loan fund. As you know, we're looking at drilling a new third well. The other 2 wells, the locations of them, to do some work to them. If you did work on one of them, it would affect the other, and we're just preparing for the future to stabilize our city's drinking water. So this would just be requesting you to allow us to apply for this funding.
Oh, sure. Is that federal funding, Tim? Do you know, or state or federal? Anybody know?
It's under State of Minnesota Public Facilities Agency. Yeah.
Thanks, Craig.
Okay, Craig, I just one other thing. Craig, would that be a matching fund? Would we have to match $250 on that?
No, it's a low interest loan fund.
Oh,
we can get funding to this program cheaper than what we can go and bond for it. So if we score, there's a scoring mechanism for your project to see if they qualify or not. And we put in all 3 of our projects, but this was the only one that scored high enough in the funding range. So we're just moving forward with that. We're not moving ahead with the project right this minute, but the application needs to go in.
Okay. Thanks, Craig.
Where are we looking at putting this well?
It'll be over, I think the understanding, Al, was over by the old GE building. There's a lift station right there. It'd be in that area, but Al could probably explain a little better.
Yeah, okay. Correct. It's in a city-owned strip. There's a road that goes back to the railroad tracks between there and the LEA Woodyard.
Yep.
There's a flat bench just off the road. That's the area we've looked at potentially drilling the well and constructing a small pump house building. It wouldn't be for a pump house, it'd be more for electrical controls and the VFD and stuff for the well.
Okay.
Okay, thank you much,
So,
guys.
Al, there's certain areas, I mean, is there a possibility, I mean, what are you looking at for depth on something like this? Is some areas, are we gonna have a problem by going too deep? Is it gonna be cost inefficient if it has to go too deep, or what's the water table look like?
So this area is very tricky for well drilling, especially a municipal well. A residential well, you don't need quite the volume. On a municipal well like this, you're looking for a lot of fractures in the bedrock from other well log reports. What we're thinking is it could be 500 to 600 feet deep. It's kind of a guess until you drill the well.
Okay. How deep are other wells there, Al or Tim, either one? You don't know how deep those are?
I think were they like 400, Al, something in that.
It sounds right, about 400.
Okay.
This one, I believe that we would be trying to maybe get into a different source, would be a lower aquifer. And like Al said, it's not like maybe everybody imagines this Kona depression and the materials and the types of soil around it. This would be finding those fractures and it's the whole Iron Range is difficult when you go drill that deep down to find a source water. Typically, if you find a good well, you have good quality water.
Have we looked any place south of 169, being that because of the mines and what they do, the mining and the blasting and stuff, would it be maybe smart to look south of 169 for a well?
I think we, one of the considerations here is we did try to get away from the existing 2 wells that we have, and part of this has to be on city-owned property, and part of it is we don't want to get too far away from our water treatment plant. It's kind of a relatively close site to get water back up to, but it's going to be some expenditures to get that water back to it. If you remember, we did have 2 wells in that same vicinity, and that might be brought up that we did seal those wells, but those wells were like 50-foot wells. So you're taking that water, you're taking really surface runoff water in the past, and this will be a sealed casing going down bedrock, and it'll be a lot of protections in there. Contaminants are getting into that. So the reason why we did stay in this vicinity would be the cost that it would be to run a line back to our treatment plant.
Could we go a little bit, maybe put 2 wells in there or go a little bit deeper with one? We could get hot and cold running water.
I don't know, Skogs. Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I guess we're ready for any other questions. Okay, if not, let's see now, we had a motion, right? Yeah, support.
Oh, there's no motion yet.
No motion yet.
Okay, can we entertain a motion?
Also move that we adopt resolution 03-20 for the city to apply to the Public Facilities Authority Drinking Water Revolving Loan Fund.
Okay, thank you, Al. Motion by Al. Do we have support?
Support.
Okay, thanks, Jewel. Any more discussion on this?
Maybe one quick thing on page 18, just so that when the minutes come out, that there's a correction done in the top paragraph there, where it's the Public Facilities Authority for a loan from the Drinking Revolving Fund. It doesn't sound too specific there, so we can make a correction to that.
It sounds sketchy.
Yes.
Right. Thank you, Al.
Hey, Craig, when might we get approval on that loan? When are you looking at that possibly being approved and having that money if we do get approved?
Usually you won't have any money available till the beginning of the new fiscal year, which is in July 1st, around that time frame
Okay.
Of this year, right, Craig?
of 2020, correct?
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Okay, thanks, Joe. Okay, any other discussion? None being all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion carried 5-0. Let's moving on to B, resolution number 0420, approving plans, pages 19 and 20. That has to do with what's an IRRB for the, it has to do with our Mount Iron Drive project. Anybody want to comment more on that, Craig? Is that just a formality?
This resolution allows the approval of the plans that have been developed by Benchmark Engineering and allows us to go out to bids on that project. So this would be the next step to go out to bids and get this project rolling this year.
Right, that's our goal, yeah, right, Craig, to get it going this year.
Correct.
Right, thanks, Craig. With that being said, I guess we need to pass this resolution 04-20 so we can go basically out seeking bids for this project. Can we entertain a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 0420, approving plans and specifications and ordering advertisement for bids for the
Mount Iron Drive.
Between 12th Street and southerly corporate limits in city of Mount Iron.
Okay, thanks, Skog. Motion by Skogie. Do we have support?
Support.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Any discussion on this?
Yeah, just Al, is that road, is there gonna be any design change in that road? Is it still follow basically the same path or what have you engineered there?
Sure. So we softened the curve by Valvoline, the Country Kitchen site. It's what I would consider a 25-mile-an-hour alignment. That was done for a couple purposes. The curve to safely navigate the turns there. The radiuses would require that 25-mile-an-hour design limit. And then the second thing, the road currently has 3 or 4 different widths. If you go down it and look at it carefully, the narrowest spot is right there by Valvoline. And essentially this will be widened to a consistent width from the beginning to the end. So the section doesn't kind of narrow down, especially in them curves. That was kind of a safety issue that came up about a year ago at Street and Alley.
Yeah, there was a concern there, I know, with the semi-traffic on there. Is this going to address that semi-traffic?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
Thanks. So any other questions on that, concerns? You gotta remember too, I think Craig, we got a $300,000 IRRB grant on this project too, so which really helps defray the cost on this project. Okay, with that being said, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. Okay, we're looking now at communication. Anything pages 21 through 23. Any communications there?
Got something on that, Tim?
As you guys remember, we're at a pretty good expense. We've been trying to decommission the Nicholstown, the former Nichols Township lagoons. And so this is a compliance summary of what the MPCA is, kind of a report card on what we did last year. There really isn't an operation going on right now. Our goal is to try to establish the wetland vegetation that they want. So until we have that, until we have them to agree that it's to a point where they allow us to completely be commissioned, we have to carry this permit and follow the rules set forth, so.
Okay. Thank you much, Tim. Anything else or any announcements? Anybody have anything to announce?
I do have one thing that I would like to say.
Go ahead, Al.
And this would be on behalf of my family. I want to thank all the kind words that have been said tonight for the loss of my nephew Tim. I know his family is going to really appreciate it, and myself, I really do appreciate all the kind words. He's going to be a young man that is going to be missed considerably. And once again, thank you.
Thank you, Al.
And I just want
Go ahead, Scott.
that Tim was my right-hand man in the kitchen, and I'm going to greatly miss him.
Yeah.
One other thing that I want to make mention of is this archery club that Mountain Iron has. They got cut short in their championship this year, so they didn't get to go to state. But what they did was they they took all the scores and averaged them out for all the teams in the state of Minnesota. And 5th grade girls, my granddaughter Megan Carlson took 5th place statewide. It's the first.
Wow.
So,
Well, congrats. A lifetime sport too.
yes,
So-
yes. I'm gonna nominate her for a place in the Hall of Fame right next to you, Gary.
Well, we're going to be working on that together. Archery and TV and bantam hockey for Joe and myself. Hey, thanks, folks. So anybody else, any other announcements? Before we adjourn, gang, I just again like to comment to the people, because things are really changing on a daily basis here. And if you want to keep abreast, I really want to thank our staff headed by Craig and Tim, all the girls in the office and all the guys and peers, out and within the community, because I really, really appreciate what they do. And if you want to keep posted, I think you will keep you updated by just, even if you have to call in this call or look at our city's web page, that's updated. We keep that up currently also on public access on MediaCom, our public access, to keep, because things are changing. And like I said, even though we're apart right now, we're going to work together and we'll come through this stronger and even maybe a little bit nicer and even a little bit smarter. But we will defeat this thing. Anyone else have any comments before we adjourn here?
I just wanted to say something nice about Tim's crew. Tim Rossi, who does our neighborhood, makes the kids' day, the grandkids. He's excellent at what he does, and he's waving to the kids. Excellent community service.
Right.
And it's community relations is really what they do. I'm very proud of them in our neighborhood.
I'll make sure I pass that on. Thank you.
For real, it's a big deal.
No, it is. It is, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Okay, with that being said, I guess, for our first meeting, we made it through. I didn't lose anybody, and I don't know what it is, but I want to thank Darwin for out there too and everybody else. And with that being said, I so move to adjourn. Do we have support?
Support.
Thanks, Joe. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried 5-0. Take care. Godspeed, everybody, and take care. Stay safe, and we'll see you on March 20th. Take care.
All righty. Bye, guys.
Stay safe, stay healthy.
Yep.
Have a good night.
You
Good night.
too.
We'll see you.